Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're putting on our detective hats to unpack a seriously sophisticated vocabulary word. We aren't just going to look at some stuffy dictionary definition, no. We're looking at how this word actually works in the wild to describe some pretty complex human behavior. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, I want you to start by picturing a very specific type of person. Imagine you've just walked into a stunning, super fancy party. You look around the room. Who is the absolute smoothest person there? You know exactly who I'm talking about. That one guest who's just perfectly at ease. They're perfectly polite, they're never flustered by a spilled drink, they never let an awkward pause drag on, and they effortlessly make everyone around them feel totally welcome. Keep that exact image of that sophisticated partygoer in your head, because there is a perfect word to describe exactly who that person is.
And that word is urbane. Now, before we go any further, let's lock down how to actually say it out loud. It's 2 syllables. Urbane. You want to make sure that second part rhymes perfectly with rain. So what does it mean? The core definition is all about being refined in manner, polished, smooth, and elegant. Honestly, it boils down to graceful sophistication. It's the absolute polish of someone who is completely, 100% comfortable in cultured company.
Now, looking under the hood at the mechanics of our word, it mainly functions as an adjective, a describing word. But words rarely travel alone, right? They've got families. So while we're focusing on the adjective today, it belongs to a morphological family that includes the adverb urbanely, which describes exactly how an action is performed, and the noun urbaneness, which is the actual state of possessing this quality. Knowing the whole family just gives you a way better vocabulary toolkit, letting you gracefully drop this concept into a sentence no matter the grammatical situation.
Let's actually see this in action. Consider the phrase, "His urbane manners made him welcome at every gathering." Notice how the adjective urbane modifies manners. It's not just saying he's a nice guy or merely polite. It's saying his specific brand of polished, elegant sophistication acts like a total golden ticket. Because he has this graceful vibe, he is universally welcomed with open arms wherever he goes.
But here's what's really fascinating to me about this concept. This kind of polish isn't just some passive trait, it's a super active social tool. When we hear that a host is urbane and charming, putting every guest at ease, we are seeing the word doing actual work. Being urbane isn't just about rocking a tuxedo or, holding your teacup perfectly. It actively makes other people feel comfortable. An urbane host diffuses the tension and creates this amazing, welcoming atmosphere for everybody in their cultured company.
On the flip side, what happens when someone completely lacks this exact type of social grace? Well, if peers call a writer crude because he has no urbane polish, it highlights exactly how glaringly obvious the absence of this sophistication can be. In this context, his peers thought he was crude, literally the exact opposite of polished, specifically because he was missing that vital, graceful tact in a social setting. It's a real deal breaker.
Now, here is a really crucial point. We absolutely cannot fall for a classic case of mistaken identity here. Because urbane looks so much like the word urban, people constantly assume it just means being from a big city. But no way, that is completely false. While the words are historically linked, urbane is strictly about social polish and refined manners. It has nothing to do with simply residing in a metropolitan area. Seriously, you could live completely off the grid in the middle of nowhere and still be an incredibly urbane person.
So, to really cement this word in our brains, we need to look at the company it keeps. Its natural allies, the synonyms that run in the exact same circles, are words like suave, polished, and refined. On the flip side of the battlefield, its direct enemies, the antonyms, are words like uncouth and crude. Keep these allies and enemies in mind, and I promise you, you're never going to misuse the word urbane.
All right, now that you intimately understand the nuances of this word, I've got a challenge for you. Think about the media you consume, your favorite books, TV shows, movies. Which character would you call truly urbane? Who's got that smooth, perfectly polished, refined manner that just makes them the absolute most sophisticated person in the room? Think about it. Try using the word today and keep exploring. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.